You know, it's going to be interesting because my first experience of getting to know Eric Mangini, who is on the show all the time, was at our former workplace where he cornered me in the hall and we talked for about an hour plus on defending the zone running game. And he was like,
conversation.
Yes.
Well, so Stinks, people should know,
Right.
people that don't.
Okay.
Stinks teams basically invented and made famous the zone blocking scheme and the zone running scheme.
And Belichick and Mangini and the New England Patriots always struggled with Mike Shanahan in that zone running system. Okay, that was their nemesis, and they always struggled trying to defend it. Well, I'm telling you, put on the Rams. The Rams run exactly what the '90s Broncos run. It's identical, except for the fact that they do it out of three wides. They do it out of nickel far more than the Broncos. We were far more base.
Right.
And so they run all that stuff. Now, they have other things that they run as well, but it's based out of that wide zone, wide stretch, 18-19 handoff, 18-19 force, 18-19 pitch, 18-19 toss. It's all based out of that, and all the play action that coincides with that, the naked boot keeps, the play passes, and all those things. They do a great job of running that, and that's always been one thing that historically the Patriots have struggled to defend. So that part, to me, is a really interesting matchup between the Rams offense and what they run and what this Patriots defense, you know, has struggled with past history. Now, that's a long time ago, obviously.
No.
But it's still one of those things
And
that
McVay
in your
came
mind,
up under Shanahan in Washington before he got this job at 30. And so, like, it makes sense that that would be what they're running.
And a lot of times when people talk about the Rams offense, they think they know what the Rams offense is. But ultimately, it's 31 personnel, you know, and it is running that zone. Like, that's what they want to do. As you would say, they want to thunder punch you. Like, that's what they want to do. They do it with a lot of eye candy, camouflage and everything, but that's what they want to do. On the defensive side, too, I think a matchup, and it's coaching philosophy, it's scheme, styles make fights. Wade Phillips and his defenses have been very successful going against Bill Belichick and his offenses. So are they able to put together a game plan that Ndamukong Suh, which I would say these last two football games are as good a games that I have seen him play back-to-back, team defense. That means staying in his gap, controlling two people, rushing the passer, playing at an elite level, first, second, and third down. Can they protect those linebackers? Because they will have a game plan for Aaron Donald. The strength of the offensive line, the center, and the two guards. Strength of their defense, right there, those defensive tackles. So I think the style for which they're trying to with Sean McVay offensively, it has had success against Belichick. And Wade Phillips, Nick, one of your buddies there, he's had success going against Brady and a Belichick coach offense.
Wade Phillips, really interesting, going back to, you know, just kind of his style, is back in his Denver days. You know, people would tell you this about Wade Phillips when you talk to guys around the league. Wade Phillips is going to run what Wade Phillips runs. You're going to be a 90% man. You're going to play man. And you know what? We're going to play cover 11, and we're going to just see how it works out, right? And I'm having dinner with a couple of guys on the coaching staff from the 2015 Denver Broncos team, and they talked about Wade, how he put a game plan together in the AFC Championship game against Brady. Now, Brady came back in the fourth quarter and made it, you know, they were 1 2-point conversion away from tying the thing and all this, but how they never ran the same thing on defense one time. It's like you take everything Wade has ever done and what he has been historically through his career, and in that particular game, it was blitz, then it was coverage, then it was man, then it was, then it was zero, then it was, throughout the entirety of the game.
And history would tell you that if you give him people who can rush, and you give him some coverage people.
That's all he's ever wanted. All he's ever wanted is give me two corners that if I need to, I can leave them on an island and give me guys that can get home. The other 7 guys on defense, he'll figure out. The safeties, the linebacking, like this is when he was in Houston, and he's, you know, he'll tell you he stood on the table for J.J. Watt because when they were going to draft him, because he thought, all right, if he can take care of, as a 3-4 defensive end, my pass rush, much like if Aaron Donald can take care of my pass rush as an interior defensive lineman, the ability it gives him. Another aspect of this game that I do not think should be discounted. We just saw what the Patriots did to Tyreek Hill add it to the list of #1 options for an opposing offense the Patriots have just eliminated. I think it became most famous when they played the Rams 17 years ago and they said, listen, greatest show on turf, lot you can do. What's not going to happen is Marshall Faulk going to ruin our day. And that started this, or at least started it famously, and has kept it going. Todd Gurley, of course, the #1 option for the Rams. But their #1A is Brandon Cooks, a player who we just talked about how the Patriots know guys' strengths, know what they can do, know what they can't do. He was with the Pats last year. Like, they have intimate knowledge of what Brandon Cooks is really good at and what you can let Brandon Cooks try to do because he's not great at. Because
I can present the other side of that. You also got a year of Brandon Cooks running past you in practice. All right, because he's a hell of a, he is a hell of a talent.
But doesn't
they also got bad memories of him. It's not like they were just shutting him down.
No.
I mean, there's a reason why he's put together, I think, 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons.
Absolutely, but I think they would rather have the memories of him running past you in practice rather than just have the film of it, of him running past people, because having him in the building, they know him as a player better than any player they have on the Rams.
So what about the same intel that I have? As a wide receiver.
Right.
What the information that Brandon Cooks has on the
I just think it's more, maybe you can tell me.
Why?
I'll explain why. Because you have an entire coaching staff that coached a player. Brandon Cooks, I don't think, when he was playing with the New England Patriots, was trying to accumulate all the information possible on the New England Patriots defensive backs.
Absolutely, Nick. That's the #1 thing you do when you're practicing against your team. That's who you're going against. I have a game plan for every guy on our roster, what they do, what they can't do, because the only way I can be successful is by defeating them in practice.
I know who bites on double moves. I know who's great press.
I know them better than I know the opposition around the league.
Here's the other thing. Like, I look at, you mentioned Tyreek Hill. So we get a double team on him, right? We got some guy pressing him. We got one safety rolling over the top. No shallow crosses. You can't double team a shallow cross.
Yes.
No, you didn't hand it to him on a jet sweep. You didn't fake a jet sweep.
Couldn't believe they never handed the ball.
Right, you didn't,
and that's one of the
fake a jet sweep and throw a screen
between him and Cooks is those shallow routes and intermediate routes. They get to Cooks more.
And I will tell you, Sean McVay, even if they're double teaming him, he'll find a way to get the ball in his hand. Like, the fact that you didn't put it in his hands and give him a chance to run with the ball afterwards, you just said, well, he's getting double teamed. We've got enough one-on-ones across the board. That part was not coached very well.
I totally agree, and maybe the Rams will learn from that mistake the Chiefs made of not getting the ball in the hands of their most explosive playmaker. I do trust the brain trust of the Patriots and what we've been talking about all year and all morning to know some things Brandon Cooks can't do and to use that against him.
So you're all taking the under. Just making sure where we started this conversation.
Oh, well, that's a different discussion for a different day. We'll do bets later in the week, Jenna. Come on, we got 9 more days.
Started this segment, but that's neither here nor there. Mark, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Thanks so much for everything. Got to take a break coming up. Big changes ahead for the Chiefs. That's next on First Things First.
What are you giggling about? What are you giggling about?